Vestax announces more details about their new Phoenix mixer, Mixvibes makes an announcement about a new piece of software, and Beatport has some pretty cool new announcements. Find out more coming up. Thank you for watching PDot TV, where you'll find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. Now let's get into the video. So what I think was the coolest piece of news to come out of the BPM show has to be the showcasing of the new Vestax Phoenix. Now this is the new iteration of Vestax, and I'm glad again to see them back on the scene with some new products. And this mixer isn't necessarily something for their scratch audience, which they really built a loyal following in the late 90s and early 2000s with. Just to see them back on the scene, coming out with new and really interesting products, I'm sure that if they do well with these, they'll get back to their roots of doing scratch-based mixers, and I can't wait for that to come around the corner. But up first is their new Phoenix mixer. So the Phoenix mixer is definitely a throwback to the older days of DJ mixers. You get a full analog sound, you also get VU meters on each of the 4 channels, and it comes in rotary and linear. So yes, this is a definite throwback. The overall design looks like it as well. So yes, this is a definite throwback to the late 80s, early 90s kind of era of mixers with those VU meters, and of course the nice analog sound, as well as coming in a rotary option, with Pioneer not having the rotary option on their latest line of mixers. I think the last one to really have it was the 800, and the only other major manufacturer making rotary mixers right now is Reigns. To see another rotary option out there made by a major manufacturer, I'm sure all the rotary lovers out there are excited. Now this thing has 3 phono inputs as well as 9 line inputs, so you can have an array of different devices plugged in, from turntables to media players, CD players, etc., and have them all linked in together to the mixer if you so desire. Now this mixer also features an auxiliary send return loop as well as a master send return loop. So if you're a DJ that likes using external effects boxes, this might be the option for you. Also, seeing as this mixer doesn't have onboard effects, it's nice to see that option, so you can plug in whatever effects device you want and get a proper, wet dry signal and route it the way you want with these 2 options. Vestax has also stated that this mixer will feature an all-genre curve-controlled crossfader, which probably means it'll have a nice sharp cut for the DJs out there that want to cut while they're mixing, as well as a nice clean blending curve as well for all the house DJs or DJs of any genre that like to actually use the crossfader to do their blending. You have that option, and I'm glad to see that Vestax didn't totally forget their scratch roots by at least including this option. And the final 2 really cool new features that I like about this mixer is the fact that this mixer also has 2 phono outputs, much like you saw on the Mixars. So that makes it a lot easier for all the DJs out there that use something like Serato or Traktor or Rekordbox and have an audio interface plugged in. It'll take a lot less plugging and unplugging wires, which is a godsend for all my AV techs out there. And finally, this mixer features a 3-band isolator EQ on the master, much like we saw on the Rain, rotary mixer, the MP series out there, which has that nice warm isolator EQ. So to have an isolator EQ function on this one as well is really cool to see, on top of the 3-band EQ that you get on each channel. Next up, Mixvibes also announced updates to their Remixvideo VJing software, and they also introduced a brand new piece of software that they're calling Remixvideo Pro. Now, all current Remixvideo owners will get upgraded to the new Remixvideo Pro that includes some really cool new features, and Remixvideo Pro from now on will be priced at $149. Now Remixvideo will have all the same cool functions that it previously had, and this new piece of software, Remixvideo Pro, has some pretty cool new Pro functions as well. Remixvideo Pro will now allow for output to other software such as Siphon and Spout, and can also be ran as a VST or audio unit plugin in your DAW of choice as well. So that's really cool to see the integration in other pieces of software. It's not necessarily something like Resolume that we saw that Denon's kind of featuring in other pieces of hardware and software, but hopefully with this initial update, maybe they'll add it later on. Just make Remixvideo an even bigger piece of the DJing platform. So earlier this year, Beatport announced that they've seen year-over-year growth in their platform, and with it even being a last generation platform, now in the age of a lot of the streaming services seeing a lot of the growth, and even with services like iTunes, scaling back and not really selling track by track anymore like Beatport does and switching over to streaming, Beatport has still remained strong as a platform for DJs and other music lovers to get their songs track by track. But now Beatport is announcing something they're calling Beatport Cloud. Now this is a 3-tier service where you pay a monthly subscription fee, kind of like something you would pay for a DJ record pool, and each tier of course will have different features. So the base level of Beatport Cloud Plus that comes in at $4.99, you get unlimited re-downloads. You also get a 10% discount on any of your purchases from Beatport. Now where things start to get interesting is at the Beatport Cloud X level, where you get 10 MP3 downloads as well as the other features from that Beatport Cloud Plus. So you get the unlimited re-downloads as well as that 10% discount. And this will come in at $17.99. Now at the Beatport Cloud Pro level, you actually don't get MP3 downloads, but you do get 20 lossless file downloads. So this is a really cool option for people that frequent Beatport and end up downloading a bunch of tracks each month. And this might make sense for a lot of users out there. So it's really cool to see Beatport changing their model a little bit, or I should say adding on to their current model that's already working for them to add even more of a user base that would use their services. Now the second part of their announcement was something that they're calling Beatport Link. Now this is going to be a streaming service that they want to integrate into other DJ software platforms. And this is based on the previous Pulse Locker technology. And as it was announced earlier this year, Beatport did purchase Pulse Locker, and we were all kind of waiting to see what Beatport was going to do with that technology. And here it is. They're using that same kind of technology and platform to use the Beatport library of songs and try to integrate it back into the softwares, because all of the softwares that used Pulse Locker have since removed it since the company folded. But now we're seeing Beatport picking that technology back up and wanting to integrate it into the major DJ softwares out there. Now there haven't been any announcements on which DJ softwares are going to get this integration, but if I was to bet, I'd probably say that each of the three major platforms, Traktor, Rekordbox, and Serato DJ, are all going to get that integration, as it makes sense since most of these platforms already had that integration, so to add that back in shouldn't be too much work. So that's it for the news this week. So question of the day, what are your thoughts on all the streaming services getting developed to be added into all the major DJ softwares? Go and leave that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, if you found this video useful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click right here to subscribe to this channel. Or if you'd like to watch more content, go ahead and click on that video right there. And thank you for watching PDot TV, where you'll find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. See you next time.